Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. So I wanted to do a quick update on my cheating exploiting video since I posted one a few days ago. There's been about a billion of these made already, and the whole community had blown up about it, and all the information is kind of out there. But since I did make the video, I did at least want to do a follow-up. Now on this channel, I love being able to do a lot of positive stuff, but I always cover the negative as well. And if you look back at past videos, I'll do good and bad and good and bad, and I just follow along and with whatever's going on and whatever good or bad comes along, I try to do a little reporting on that. So real fast, they came out and they addressed the cheating, and it says, "Hey everyone, we've observed a recent increase in exploits and cheating in game and want to acknowledge everyone who's taken the time to report these issues." Guys, that's really important for y'all to post and post clips and screenshots and things like that. It's genuinely appreciated. Historically, we've taken a more relaxed approach to third-party tools, and I think this is important, right? That they're like addressing that, hey, we've been like kind of relaxed on this and we've kind of been letting things flow, but things got out of hand. They're getting busy now, and we have to jump on this hard. We have to address it. So it says this was intentional, allowing space for community driven efforts like localization, VR integrations, and other creative contributions. I think that's like in regards to like Linux and stuff like that for those of you who play the game on Linux. However, with our growing player base and increased engagement, we've reached a new threshold. That was kind of interesting to me because apparently, even before this, there was like 5 million accounts or something like that, or 5 million players or whatever. And I've always said that, okay, so there's a lot of accounts, but what they don't ever tell us is like active player count. And I've always said that number was probably like ungodly low. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I jump into servers and I see the same people a lot of the times in the servers. Now I know it's area based, so but I'm talking about even when I jump to, other regions and stuff. So, but I do believe that that is increasing with, all this content that they're starting to push out now. So it says, however, our growing player base has increased engagement. We've reached a new threshold, one where exploiters see greater opportunity in targeting the game. In response to the recent spike in abuse, we'll be tightening our anti-cheat measures to be better protect both the integrity of the game and the experience for the broader community that continues to shape it. That's awesome news, right? Good stuff. Bravo for CG for doing this. It says, while we won't be sharing specifics, and obviously they're not going to share these specifics, right? Because they don't want to let people know what they're doing to fix it. It says, we want to reassure that recent updates have already been made a substantial impact. We've also issued a large wave of account bans and will continue to take enforcement actions as needed. This is great, guys, as it should be. They should have been doing this, and it's great that they've jumped on it and hit it really hard. I think this was like a really important step for them, because it's kind of like not like CIG to do this as fast as they did, right? It says, to be clear, exploiting or cheating is strictly against our terms, regardless of intent or the current stage of development. We understand that some users may be experiencing acting out of curiosity or believe they're helping expose issues, but even these actions can be disruptive and damaging to the game. This behavior can lead to serious consequences, up to and including permanent account closures. It says, we'll continue to monitor the situation and taking whatever steps necessary to ensure fair play. Thanks again for continuing to report issues as they arise. Um, that's awesome. I mean, that's great news, guys. I mean, we are having 4.2.1 come up as of me making this video. They just come out with a new shit. That's important that they squash these issues before, all this new stuff comes out. We have a new event in the 4.21, another like kind of like, I guess I'd call them just like delivery missions or whatever, where we have to provide resources and we get skins depending on what area we picked. It's the same type of event that they've kind of done before, just I guess a different storyline for that. And then, guys, we have 4.3 coming up. So before I ended this video, I just kind of wanted to run through 4.3 so we can kind of see what's going to be happening in the future. All right, guys. So I just really wanted to run through a little bit of the 4.2, 4.3 roadmap that we have real fast to kind of close this video out. Just real fast, let's start over here in the 4.3. Let's just see what's coming up for quarter 3 and quarter 4, right? Because we're on the precipice of the 4.21 releasing already. So we've got the AI, which is the turrets, and this is for PvE, which is great. I think anything going towards PvE, which is kind of like I prefer, is great. Not that PvP isn't bad. Lots of character stuff. We've got these armors that are coming, and I always thought that the armor was going to come with the more different armor gameplay, but it doesn't really have to. They can always add the gameplay with the armor later. This core tech right here with this ladder. Now, what I've been told and what I've been seeing already is that this has already been added to the 4.2.1. So we are probably going to get this a lot further ahead of time, and this is going to be greatly appreciated, especially if even if they just speed up the time it takes to traverse the ladder and being able to like lean and just being able to slide faster and not have those instant deaths that we have in the past with these ladders. So moving on to gameplay, these cooperative zones, I'm really looking forward to this stuff. I'm hoping it ends up being more of a PVE, like players versus the AI, but with this game you just never know. It just seems like most stuff just ends up being PvP because one group wants to lock it down. So I'm really curious how this is going to work. If they're going to have some sort of extra security here for when people have crime stats and things like that. I'm not sure. So I'm really looking forward to this gameplay right here to see what they're going to actually end up doing with it. We have our locations, the abandoned underground facilities, and this is also going to be ASD, which is pretty cool. We come down to missions and events. Mission pickup on location, so enabling new missions to be discovered and added to journals when you approach or enter the designated area. That's cool. So these are things you're gonna have to go out and find. They're not gonna be already in your Moby Glass. You're gonna have to be in that area to actually access that. This is a bigger one than what you might think. This was something that was definitely missing part of that kind of exploration. Not really exploration, but just part of the natural mission flow. Right, you go to an area to get that mission. Moving on to ships and vehicles, of course, this is going to be the Wicklow special ships. They've been constantly adding to that. Guys, I could make a whole video on the Wicklow stuff. I'm just not impressed with, like, the stuff. Like, I don't want to have to do a line in mine. Like, I think you should be able to find the resources out in the world rather than just having to do, like, a 2-hour event or something like that to get this laser to fire. But I guess they want it to be super hard. I just hate that, just because we're in an alpha state, I just don't think it needs to be quite as grindy as it really is right now, but that's just my look at it. I don't have as much time as other people. And the last one, we have the Volt laser sniper rifle, which we already knew was coming, so that should be pretty cool. But guys, that is pretty much it for 4.3. There are some important things. It's kind of a smaller, it feels like a smaller patch, but there's a couple of those important items in there that are really going to start making a difference as we move on to 4.31 and 4.4 or whatever the horizon is. So my question to you just to finish this off is, so this Star Citizen 1.0, how far out do you actually think it is? If you've made it this far in the video and you've been listening to my thoughts on this of where the progression of the game is going, how far out do you think Star Citizen 1.0 is? What we think, 2 years? You think it's going to come pretty close after Squadron 42? Or are you on the train where I am? I still think that Star Citizen 1.0 is still 4 to 5 out. I still think they can carry this game for an easy 4 to 5 years with the current, monetization practices that they have. I think they have people hooked with the ships. I think they have people invested, and as they add more capital and more org and more things like that, I think people are still going to jump on board to this game no matter what the state it is in, right? So that's just my 2 cents on that. But guys, that is going to be it for this video. Just a quick one, just to kind of cover the cheating and the exploits and just kind of looking at that roadmap, right? So I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for the comments. I really appreciate it, and the likes and the subscribes. I'm hoping to have a little bit busier of a second half of this year. It kind of slacked off at the beginning of this year. Not much was going on. And I think as things increase, I'm going to start increasing videos with the channel. So thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.